All right, welcome the NAV Lab Podcast. Today we have Nick Gobel, Korey Wacker.
The NAV Lab.
Nick's first time on the podcast.
Yes,
Korey's second time. Our first guest.
It's good to have you, Nick.
I'm a guest, but
here.
I'm not really a guest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kinda. You're showing up on occasion. Yeah. It's called a guest.
It's the first time we've seen Nick in months. Nick
totally.
got a girlfriend and then real estate business just not.
Just disappeared.
So Nick, introduce yourself to the world. Where are you from? How you got to Colorado? How you got into real estate, and maybe a little bit about your experience here at NAV.
Yeah, born in Florida, raised in the Midwest, moved here about 13 years ago, and finally got my roots planted here in Denver. Met Matt through Nicole, his wife, and he said I should get my license, so I did, and ended up being the best decision of my life. So really been doing real estate for the last couple years. And just have been able to learn from some of the best in the business, and like I said, it's just been a blessing. Changed my life for the better. So,
What'd you do before this?
I was in cannabis, actually.
Cannabis.
Managed 10,000 square foot gardens, 20, 30 people. Was doing a lot of babysitting, so that was fun.
And what's that like? Do you walk around the gardens with a squirt bottle?
I was actually walking around
pointing
plants? Fingers and telling people what to do.
Is it like Mr. Miyagi and his bonsai tree?
It is. It's just listening to what the plants are telling you and making changes in the garden.
Yeah.
No, it's not that at all. It's actually a lot of physical labor, and it sucked. So, I just decided I needed to change my life, and I'm a firm believer in everything happening for a reason. And when I met Matt and got COVID, and decided to enroll in real estate school, and got that done in like a month, and
cool.
Started showing homes, writing offers.
So recently you have been arguably one of the top 2 agents on the team, right? In terms of production, the top agent in terms of converting Zillow leads. And I know your first year, things were probably not going as well as they are now. Would you want to talk about, maybe why, or any kind of obstacles that you had to overcome?
Yeah, I think when I first got into real estate, it ended up, I was kind of during COVID times. The market was really
back in the pandemic.
Yeah, really crazy. Interest was under 3%.
Yeah.
So anyone and everyone could buy a home. So anytime you were showing a client, you were competing against 20, 30 other buyers, which was just insane. So learning how to write a winning offer, I was kind of just thrown into the fire there, and you learn from your mistakes. So that was a huge opportunity, and actually expedited my growth, I think, just first starting out. So really interesting. And as the market shifts, and you stay engaged, you'll learn, different things, and just how to qualify buyers and that kind of thing. But I think what really shifted for me is just, instead of making it about me, it was more so making it about other clients and, achieving their goals, not mine, right? And through helping people and educating people and teaching people about investing and just what it takes to purchase a home, I think that really became very transparent to my clients and just the way we work together. And I'm just here to help them at the end of the day, so.
Cool.
I think that's
you can
turned
admit
into
that it was,
my results.
You started meeting with me and Korey, and then next thing you know, you got 12 closings.
Yeah, what's this?
I started meeting with you
fire?
guys, and I was like, I hate meeting with these guys.
I mean, that might be what it was, honestly.
It was. I hated it.
I remember
like, what is this?
We sat right here. We looked through your business, and literally like a week later, you're like, "Yeah, I got 3 closings." It's like, nice work, dude.
Well,
like, what happened?
I was telling you guys, like, I was doing the work. It just wasn't totally connecting, and yeah. Whenever your feet are held to the fire,
and the Lord said, "Let there be light."
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah,
worked out.
Cool. I mean, so around that time, right, or around fall, it was tough, which I feel like is when you really started taking off, and that was we had switched to Flex with Zillow leads. I know you were claiming leads, and probably a lot of that business was Zillow too, right?
Oh, I mean, 95% of my business has been through Zillow.
Cool.
Just not knowing anything, really having a network of people here in Denver just looking to purchase property. It's been a huge opportunity to kind of build my business off of Zillow's back, and through that I've been able to obtain referrals and things like that. But I think after another year or two of doing that, my business is really going to start to shift away from Zillow and just more into my network.
Cool.
So
we have an internal document where we have kind of like a leaderboard of closing percentage here on the team, and Nick sits at the top. I think you've closed 12 or 13 in the last 6 months, Zillow deals?
It was like 13, 14.
13, 14.
Yeah,
cool.
Closed one at the end of the month here.
And over 20% closing percentage, I think.
I actually have the numbers. He
I think
has
it's like 25.
13 closings, 1 under contract, total $8.9 million in total rev.
Yeah. I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah.
I just take the phone calls, schedule the showings.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
It's
not really about conversion for me.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. I'm the Asian that's always looking at the numbers. So
yes.
Yeah, telling everybody what's going on.
Yes.
So Korey is our flex manager here at the brokerage. With Zillow, to get our leads, we have to perform at a certain level, and Korey's making sure that agents like Nick are doing the thing. And Korey, do you want to talk about a little bit more about that and kind of your role?
Well, I think the easy thing is to really just empower the agents to be more of what lies within, which is what Nick has done.
I've looked inside.
What lies within,
I've searched deep down a fiery passion for real estate.
Yeah. Well, when you start,
actually, no, I love. I really just love helping people achieve financial freedom.
Yeah.
And
a 7.5%.
I think real estate is that vehicle. Hey man, you date the rate, marry the home.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
You can tell that to your clients.
Good thing the homeowner to that relationship isn't today's divorce rate, of getting married.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
That would not
bad
end
for
up
There'd be
as
more
well.
homes to buy. That's for sure. Or
And
rent.
pricing would
You
go
never
down.
know.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay.
For a period.
Hey, so when during COVID, when did you start? Like, what was like the month?
I mean, I started in March, but
March
I
2020?
didn't really start doing any business until June.
It's like March 2020.
Yeah. So I've been doing it for just over 2 years.
So then what changed? Like, what changed from the time you started to doing that to more recently? Of like, what's changed?
I mean, I think the longer you're in the business, the more deals you do, the more things you learn, the more education you can kind of pass along to your clients. And yeah, I think with all that, it just is easier to build trust.
Sure.
You know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing. I think you're confident in what you're doing, and I think that comes across in conversation.
Mm-hmm. Anything? What about your life? Outside of this, I feel like there's a lot that we do outside of like what necessarily we do on a day-to-day basis in real estate, but our life kind of has a control over how we perform. So it's like what's going on with your life can potentially determine how into it you are, how mentally focused you are. So like anything change, anything different of like mentality or routine or just anything in that perspective of like decisions you made about your life, like anything you just took a 180 and just said, hey, then all of a sudden it started happening, man.
Well, I mean, you go from being W-2, punching a clock 9 to 5, or in my case, 6 to 6. That was not fun, right? To being 1099, you're working for yourself. It's you who are steering the ship and making your own money.
I think what Korey means is like when you went from being an average agent to a top performing agent, what changed?
From March 2020
to today.
To March 2022. And then that time frame to this man. What changed?
I think it's just really prioritizing what impacts your business. Not worrying about the little things, continuing to take on leads, and just focus on your clients.
Yeah.
Rather than your bank account and just
No like lifestyle changes or anything like that.
Well, I mean, when you go from working W-2 to 1099, your entire lifestyle changes, right? And I think there is an adjustment period that you go through because it's not like this check you can count on bi-weekly that's coming in, right? It's like, who knows what kind of money you're going to make in a single month or two, right? So just understanding like the income potential and the freedom that can give you in your life, and just the work-life balance that real estate has given me has been amazing.
So you never decided to like work harder or spend more time doing real estate, or?
Absolutely, you work harder. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that just comes naturally with the more reps you take and the more things you get involved with, and educating yourself in real estate. And that's what it is. You just naturally start driving your business, and you know
I'll give you an example. So I started in 2015, I think, and same thing. Went from like a W-2, salary type deal to
Are you guys not getting the answer you want
commission
right
only.
here,
Well, listen. Here's the thing, Nick.
Let's go ahead.
Is there's no answer that I desire. I just want your heart.
All right, I want to hear the right answer right now.
I want your heart to speak. And so I'll give you
I'm
an
pouring my
example.
heart out right here, man.
I think you're giving me half your heart,
Nick, do you want a whiskey?
and I want to unlock the other
I might
side.
need a whiskey at this point.
You know what I mean? Boop 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 boop.
No, I don't
Tapping
drink
into
whiskey.
that
I'm
side
actually
of
taking
you,
a
Nick.
break from all that. So.
Just unlocking it. And
All right, I wanna hear your answer.
so self-employed, you run into that, kind of what you're saying. And honestly, once I became self-employed, it's like you establish this sense of urgency at first. But then once you realize, like, you need to perform in order to pay your bills, it's like the performance, because of, like, who we are and who we are ingrained in us. Like, it's going to happen, and it starts to happen. And then once you establish, like, financially, like, I'm in a good place, potentially, it's like, oh, now I have freedom. I don't have to go to the office. I don't have a place to be. I don't have to go here. So it's like distraction everywhere, right? So anything I wanted to do becomes a distraction, whether it be traveling or going out, whatever it is. And so I became a little bit more center focused once I transitioned, actually about 5-6 years ago. So that put it at 2017. So after about 2 years into it, and we started around the same time we started NAV. Basically completely switched how I focused on life, like my routine. I stopped drinking, literally focused on fitness 24/7 and establishing a fitness routine from a health perspective. And it's like the moment I made those decisions, it's like clarity just came right over me.
Totally.
Right? Like what was important. And not to mention getting married, having kids. It's like the sense of, people depend on me now. It's a great feeling.
See, when
So
I
just
started,
change.
I
Just
started
change.
drinking more when I started doing real estate.
Yeah, no, that's not a winning recipe for me.
Yeah.
I've realized.
I think that happens, right? But then depending on who you are, it's like, there's certain people who are more obsessive. There's certain people who have more control or lack more control, and it's like that the freedom really gets the best of you and can in real estate, which is why it's important to potentially have somebody who's there for you, who doesn't have anything to gain, but people who are there to support you through that time, right? To bring you back to life, to bring you back to why you originally wanted to do this, and then show you the way, which in hindsight, comes back to a leader, mentor. So.
Yeah. So you made me think of something. I get a little complacent sometimes. I think in my business, I will grind for a while, and then I want to take the time off. I want to travel. Maybe I'm not doing the follow up I should and things like that. But I always thought about money, right? Want to make money, want to pay my bills, obviously, want to live the life I want to live. But I never am really worried about money. I like to have a certain amount of my bank account, investments, things like that. And even when I first started, maybe I was living it didn't, even before real estate, it never bothered me to live paycheck to paycheck. And I always thought about, or the reason I always thought about this, so I lived in China after college. I worked there for 6 months. And China is very much so a third world country in 90% of the country. So I saw some people living there, so the way certain people were living, that literally had nothing, right? Even homeless people there. But everyone seemed to be pretty happy no matter what they had. And I always thought to myself, and there were certain situations that no matter how much money I have or don't have, I couldn't have less than this, or I don't think I would have less than this. In some situations, it's it couldn't be worse than this. And I think, having that mentality is a positive thing, but it can also bite you in the butt when it comes to staying productive and having a job where it's up to you on how busy you are and how successful you are. And that's something that I think has been a blessing and a curse for my business, is having that mentality of not caring about money and that sort of thing, because our business very much so revolves around money and your paycheck, right? Because if you don't work for 2 weeks or a month or something like that, you don't have a paycheck. And then you wake up one day and you realize I'm out of money, and I think for a lot of agents it takes that happening a couple times before.
We all got credit, right?
What? Yeah, we all got credit. Yeah, some of us don't have any credit left.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm kidding.
That's what happens when you get married.
But I think there's there's good to be taken from that, and then there's definitely negative to be taken from that. If you want to run a successful business, maybe it's not the best way to look at it. But I've never really lost sleep at night when I didn't have a closing, I guess, because I always thought about those people that I saw and the situations that I saw of where I live and the people I have in my life and my family and things like that. It's never going to get to that point. So I think just to kind of circle back to run it when you are running a business, I've in meeting with clients, you're never pressuring them to buy a house, which I think a lot of agents, when they're starting out or if they're not having success in their business, when you do finally get a client and you are showing in that house and there's, green shag carpet and there's, half a bathroom and there's water leaking from the ceiling, and you're like, yeah, this is a dope house. I think you can make an offer on this and probably get it. When you know that, like, this is a horrible decision, they should never buy this house.
Right.
I think it kind of relieves that pressure in having that mindset, versus, I don't know. It's interesting to think about what drives everyone to have success in the business. And I think that's what we were trying to get at with you, Nick, is like, what changed or what drives you to have the success that you're having right now?
Yeah, no, I resonate a lot with that, because I've found myself in that common pitfall of getting comfortable, right? And seeing more money in my bank account than I ever had before, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's just...
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm thanking myself, by the way.
I know you are.
Yeah, no, and I think it's still a struggle at times, right? But I think the most important thing is having, like, those goals set in place and knowing what you want and what you're trying to achieve, whether it's 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and just always being a student of the business and learning what you can do better, and not only just in real estate, but as a manager of your own business, and just adapting as the market shifts and changes, and because we've already gone through, I think, a couple shifts since I've started in real estate. So just always trying to be a student and look at my peers, see what they're doing, and continuing to educate myself, and just work hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing about money.
Is that the correct answer?
Well, again, this is there's not multiple choice. Okay, this is like one of those questions where it's like just a line and you just fill in the blank, right? And there's no end, really. You just put the period whenever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if you want, like, erase the period to keep going, we'd love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Period.
Run on sentence.
You could just keep rambling on. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'll listen to that voice all day, Nick. All day.
My seductive voice?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I want to be here longer. Listen, by the way, about money. Like, from a money perspective, money comes in, money goes out. Non-stop your entire life. Right? In, out, in, out, in, out. So trying to revolve your decisions around money, like, just think about it. Your decisions are coming and going. So it's like the sooner you can mentally focus on what you're doing at hand, the faster you can really just harness in on the raw facts of what's happening, the sooner you'll establish yourself in a position to where you can acquire. And so, like, if you revolve around money, it's in, out, in, out. You get these ebbs and flows, right, of inconsistency. Because money comes in, and then it kind of slowly trickles, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of like our life decisions, in a way. Big decisions happen, and sometimes you don't foresee what the results are, until you're actually in it. And so you need a big change, a big flip to kind of turn you back. And so, I mean...
Totally agreed.
The focal point isn't necessarily you're going to make a lot of money if you follow the right steps and do the right things. And so you just need to revolve your decisions about... Like, I love the ownership of life, in a way. Right? The freedom, the ownership, the control that you could have to manipulate your own self in a way so where you're just truly happy. Consistently. Not inconsistent. Right? It's consistent happiness. It's not revolved around the financial gain or, the financial freedom. It's just pure.
Yeah, I think happiness is kind of a byproduct of fulfillment and gratitude, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a permanent, long-lasting effect, right? It's a temporary emotion, in my opinion. But
yeah.
I agree. I think it's important to set good thing or healthy habits set in place. Staying fit, eating healthy, taking care of yourself spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Love
kinds
life.
of things.
Getting married.
Relationships.
Enjoying the people around you, right?
Yeah.
Which, has made a huge impact on my life. So,
Yeah.
and that's really shifted, I think, in the last year. I mean, even I'd say 9 months ago, I had got out of a really toxic relationship, and that's
about the time you started having some success, Nick. Interesting.
It was actually no.
Tell us about it.
Tell us her name. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna go
Please
there.
continue.
We'll spare those details. No, just getting out of that, I think, really freed up a lot of my mental capacity to really engage in my business more, along with my clients, and really just allowed me to start dedicating a lot more time to real estate, and allowed me to kind of prioritize things that weren't necessarily at the forefront of my life.
Yeah.
Part of that are some of the things I just mentioned, right? But I'd say that was one of the biggest shifts that took place, right? Is disengaging, in a relationship that just wasn't working and wasn't healthy, right? Was one of the biggest shifts.
Yeah.
So-
I think it's interesting too, when it comes to like relationships and that sort of thing. The three of us are in very different phases of our life, right? I just got married in August, right? So I'm coming up on a year being married. Korey has been married for quite a few years. He has two
Almost
kids.
5 years
Yeah,
coming
5
up in
years.
August.
Congrats
my
to you
friend.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also have 2 children,
2 kids,
And
4 and 1.
8
Amelia
on-
and Knox.
8 on the way.
The joys of my life.
8 on the way.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Just wait.
Korey started
Amelia,
in the Army.
she just turned 4, right? She's already starting to go through the process of cold calls and,
Little cells.
making sure she's
also a superior athlete.
Yep. Knox also, you can throw a ball over pretty much any mountain.
Quarter mile.
That's a
Well, there's
fact.
plenty here, so that's
Yeah.
good for him.
Yeah.
Korey does live in the mountains
Yeah.
too, which I think is also something different. Korey lives about 45 minutes away from the office where we are now.
Yeah, for fun this winter, I put my kids outside and see how long they could stay in the
Yeah.
cold.
No jacket.
And then
Nothing.
Then Korey's
Nothing,
Nothing,
wife.
just right there on the porch,
Yeah.
and we just watch them through the window and see how long they could stay there.
Somebody called the HS.
And it's like a fun challenge. They're out there shivering and smiling. They're like, yeah. They come back in and they're like, I'm so cold.
Family videos, huh?
Yeah. But back to your point, right? Different stages in life, my friend.
Yeah.
And then we have Nick,
Oh God.
right?
Yeah, then you got me.
Which is a very relatable situation, I feel like, to a lot of people. When you're in a commitment, when you're when you're a person who is a loving, kind person, right? When you get committed to somebody who you never want to give up, right? Like a lot of people out there are like that. But it takes something to recognize the situation you might be in might not be best for your life or theirs.
Totally.
And sometimes it goes down a darker path for that light to appear,
Yeah, I think real estate specifically, finding someone who supports your business. And what I mean by that is like real estate is you're on your anniversary date and you're at Mizu in the Highlands and you just got your food and then your client calls because you're negotiating an inspection, right? And you're like, hey babe, I got to take a call real quick. Be right back, right? And you got to go outside, you got to make the call, you got to come back to dinner, and maybe it's half an hour later, right? And someone who's not going to be pissed off the rest of the night. I mean, no one's going to like that, but at the end of the day, right, you have to have someone that's going to support that, because your business is 24/7, right? And sometimes you're on vacation and you're laying on the beach and you got to make a call, right? And
right.
that having that person or whoever in your life, because I've thought about it too, right? When I started doing real estate, I was single, and then I basically met my wife pretty quickly afterwards, and I met her through her realtor, right? So she bought a condo with an agent on our team. We were in the office, and the agent on the team, who actually works for us now, was like, "Hey, I've got this super cute client. You should meet her." I'm like, "Show me a picture," and then we did a blind date, right? So we went and did an escape room and got super drunk and hit it off, and it was great. And we've been together ever since, right? So.
And now he's locked in this life room.
Oh yeah.
Full circle.
But she is super supportive, and I would imagine there are not a lot of women out there or men or whoever that would like it when you leave in the middle of your anniversary dinner or whatever, or you have to go show a house and you have to miss things. And I think that's like a difficulty that you run into in real estate, but also like a beautiful thing that you can find is like someone who's going to support you through that will probably support you through anything.
Which goes back to also what you were saying about how you had to recenter yourself and how you had to find Nick again.
Well, it was interesting because that was really the first time I had been single in real estate. And so yeah, it was just really...
I think I remember.
It was different because I was in a relationship that she didn't support those habits or actions, right? And at the end of the day, I was just trying to take care of us and the business, and it just wasn't viewed in that light, right? So,
were you together with her before you became a realtor?
Correct.
So that's probably a big change for her, right? Go from this W-2 6 to 6 cannabis guy... right, to I could do whatever.
Smelling like weed.
I could do whatever I want today. Really?
Yeah.
Right, and then when you're saying gotta go, hey, now I'm here, now I'm not, now I'm here, now I'm not. Yeah. Hey, we're talking not anymore.
Well,
right?
we both went through
change.
A career change, so I think it was just a lot to digest at once. Right, we started living together. We shifted careers, so there was a lot of adapting going on, and just ended up not being healthy or in both of our best interests. So,
sure.
After that had changed and I became single again, my health became a priority, my mental well-being, my spirituality.
Your skin color, I noticed it was nice and vibrant.
All of it.
Right out of it. It looks like you've been at the beach all week, pretty much every day. It's wonderful.
I have been.
Yeah.
I lay out with my
You
girlfriend.
did get a dog. Yeah, once you found yourself, you needed a companion.
I did.
Woof woof.
Yeah. And then that actually led me to my new relationship.
Yeah, at the dog park.
At the dog park. So yeah.
Nick stole
Wasn't
a dog
single for that
from
long,
else.
but
now he's got 2 dogs.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Is it 2 dogs or 3? Are they all females?
No. One's a male, one's a female.
Okay. Gotcha.
I got 2 dogs, not 3.
So during that span, though, when you were finding yourself, what I noticed is Nick crushed it, right? 13 under contract, right? Within a 6-month period.
Yeah.
Body fat at 10%. Life was good.
I don't think it was ever at 10.
We'll call it 12.
We'll call it 15.
But so I've heard this quote a couple times, but I saw it on a TV show once, and it's Vince Vaughn said the quote, and so Vince Vaughn on the show called True Detective, and he's talking about there's your life up to this point, and then there's your life after this point. So something happens that changes your life, right? And maybe it's a life event like getting a relationship, maybe someone passes away, whatever it is, but there's your life before that and there's your life after that. And I think the same can be said for business, right? There's your business before this, and then there's your business after this. I'm not saying this necessarily happened to you, but on paper, you can literally see there was your business before, and then there's your business now where you're having tremendous success. So whatever you did, and maybe it was a lot of things that you changed that changed your business too, but it's evident to everyone that you're happier now, You're having more success in business. And you're a lot more fun to be around, Nick, just to be honest.
Thanks, Bo.
I like to give Nick a hard time, but Nick is definitely one of my best friends. Yesterday I texted our group text a photo of his snowboard.
Yeah, that was
and
hilarious.
I put $50 and everyone started bidding on it, so we set an offer deadline, and
I was at his house.
Nick
the next
showed up
hour.
like 20 minutes later.
Yeah, picked up my board.
He's like, I'm here to get my snowboard.
Yeah.
He didn't pay me for it either.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I got
Did
my
you
board
invoice
waxed
him?
for free.
Ooh.
I got to scrape it still, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
The hard work-
whoever did it
hard
does
work's not done.
half-ass work.
Well, he hasn't
Agreed.
paid,
That's-
so
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I owe you
I'd pay him
10%
in-
interest.
I'd
just
pay
write me
him-
an IOU.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
prime +1 interest rate.
Yeah, just pay him
Perfect.
in pennies. Not just any pennies, just like stand at the road and start throwing them at his house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just put them all in his yard.
I've got a paintball gun.
If I were you, I would 100%.
Just throw them all in his yard.
Just
Perfect.
put all the pennies in his yard as like new sod.
He doesn't cut the grass.
You're right, he doesn't.
Kenzie does.
I do cut the grass. Yeah, she shovels snow sometimes.
Oh, that's
she,
great.
She does not know how to get the lawnmower running. It's a 0% chance that's happening.
Hey, they make a lawnmower now like a Roomba, but it's a lawnmower.
Yeah, I've seen those.
It's for outside.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
I-
a Roomba lawnmower.
I actually really
You
prefer
like map
that's
it out and
bougie.
everything, dude.
mowing the yard. I love to mow the yard.
Really?
Yeah, so I mean, I mow like every 2 weeks, but once a week sometimes if I'm like really needing to think about something.
Uh-huh.
Because I just like put in my AirPods or put in earplugs, and for an hour and a half, 2 hours, it's just you and your thoughts, and it's very meditative.
Yeah. You.
It's Bo's
green
opportunity
grass.
to go outside and get burnt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my skin color really depends on me
Gotcha.
mowing the yard.
It kind of makes sense. His name is Bo. It's like, you see Bo just walk. Who's that? It's my neighbor Bo, mowing the lawn. He's out there every
Are
day.
you saying his name is very white?
I'm saying something. It's definitely not normal. I enjoy mowing this lawn. My AirPods in, these blades of grass, and me and
Bliss.
my 4.1
Serenity.
mower. What kind of mower do you have? Let's talk about that.
Husqvarna.
A Husqvarna. Have you heard of it? It's actually a really good brand.
I don't have
Yeah.
grass.
Did you know
So I don't cut
Husqvarna
it.
makes a robotic lawnmower?
See, I own 4 homes, so I've got to like
Oh,
get them.
gotcha.
Get
How
all the
long you been
grass
doing
cut.
real estate, Bo?
Yeah.
Since 2016.
Okay.
Yeah? Have you realized that there's a thing called delegation for certain things
Well, that's
in
what
your
I'm
life?
saying. I could delegate it, but I enjoy it. That's why I
Yeah, okay.
continue to do it.
Yeah, I guess so.
So
It's
you
kind of
cut
like
all 4 homes.
I do not. I
okay.
delegate those to
Okay.
my tenants.
gotcha. That's nice.
So you don't love it.
I don't love it that much.
Okay.
I don't love it enough to mow your yard or mow Corey's yard. Or
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'd have to drive an hour and a half just to get to
Understandable.
Corey's house.
Yeah, anytime you want to come over.
Yeah, what's up with
and-
that, dude?
Oh, dude, it's lovely. 2.5 acres.
I don't know how. Hour and a
Usable
half away.
land.
Man.
It's actually 37.23
And you're here every day.
miles.
Corey.
It's 44 minutes and 28-second drive. You don't have any AirPods, no lawnmower sounds, nothing.
Just the sounds of mountain lions growling.
You
as
hear
they
absolutely
circle as
nothing.
Dogs.
And at nighttime, when you look in the sky, it's not just black death. It's beautiful twinkling little stars everywhere. It's
Sounds
wonderful,
beautiful.
dude. It's wonderful.
Sounds beautiful.
My kids get a literally.
You make me jealous over here.
Literally, I could put my kids outside in the cold and like neighbors don't care. Nobody's calling anybody on me. Right? My kids are running outside to go potty. Just boom, right there. Let it roll. Good boy, son. Good boy.
He's one.
Yeah.
That's a great dad right here.
Listen,
He wears a diaper.
he's just flying it off, just flying, right? Listen, sand pits, right? What are you doing today? I'm gonna throw sticks. Yeah, I'm gonna take these I'm gonna have a slingshot and I'm gonna shoot these pine cones at the squirrels. Bah!
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the podcast, Nick.
Cheers.
Hope to have you back on here soon, Corey. I
Nick,
know-
it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Popped my cherry.
Well,
it was great.
You could, if that's how you want to put it. I do love fruit, so
Hey, man.
it's great to have you here.
Actually, I just bought a juicer.
Oh yeah.
And been juicing.
Ninja?
So
A bullet.
Is that?
I don't know what it is, but it's nice.
Does that explain your radiant skin
Your
tone? Complexion.
Hey man, it's
Yeah.
it's the whole thing.
Yeah. You are the whole package. This
I
is
try.
Nick Gobel,
It's
realtor.
Gobel.
Global Mobile.
Yeah.
Gobel. It sounds way
It's
better.
not Gobel. It's not Gobel.
Well,
Nick.
Yeah.
did you know English in
Go
our
to
in our language it could be
GobelRealty.com.
any one of those.
Check that
By
out.
the way,
Global Realty.
you know.
Gobel Realty.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next one soon. Peace.
Later.
Peace.